Jo Klein. I'm the GIS and Data Visualization Librarian at University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and I just started this position, and this is a new position for Greensboro, so we're working on ways to develop those roles on campus at the library. So a little bit about UNCG is we have a geography department that handles most of our GIS instruction, and we do have a research data management specialty librarian, and we have a lot of other data services on campus. But we're trying to centralize a lot of it with the libraries because it's kind of a neutral zone for instruction, and a lot of students are too intimidated to go to the geography department to learn some GIS. They think they have to take a class and they don't have time for that. And we're taking a similar approach with database, and kind of treating GIS as database. So I'm doing my topic on metadata in the context of database. So as a bio undergrad, I come from a bio research background. I've worked in a lot of labs. And from personal experience, a lot of PIs and researchers, they understand that they have to have a research data management plan. They have to capture some metadata for their research, just for like NSF grant requirements and other requirements, but they kind of do the bare minimum because it's a lot of times time consuming, and they're not super clear on how to do it. So we're working on RDM, like research data management support on our library campus. So I remember really wanting some metadata backup as a student. So as a librarian, and I'm just going to share this, I did not prepare slides, but I have some images in my statement here. So in the research data management plan cycle, you can kind of apply metadata at many points of these, both when you're creating research or looking up research. And when you're doing data viz, it's kind of a similar thing. When you're creating data visualizations, it's helpful to be able to find images and types of charts that you would like to use. You can search for things, you can tag your data visualizations, but you kind of have to have that data and information in the first place, and it's easiest to capture it at the beginning of your research and data viz creation process. So we're trying to create more workshops and resources for faculty and researchers and students to use and learn about how to apply metadata, what metadata is, and how you can apply it to data viz, which is still, I think, relatively new. There's some places where you can share data visualizations like Figshare or other like repositories, but they're very not standardized as far as I could tell. So I'm working on doing a bunch of things about like how it fits into libraries. So our research areas are basically identifying challenges and areas of need. So are my personal experiences applicable to everyone else's? And the answer is probably not. So we're going to be doing like a research environmental needs assessment on campus, surveying the faculty, and I ran into the same problem that Ryan, our first presenter, had, where faculty aren't around in the summer, so it's hard to get a hold of people. So I'm doing that this fall once everybody returns to campus. So first of all, identifying our challenges that we face involving using metadata and applying it to database, and also how librarians fit in with that, especially if we have an institutional repository at a library. How are the catalogers going to apply this to existing data visualizations? Is it on the faculty or the librarians? Who's doing this and who's responsible for it? And I found a bunch of different things. For example, out of 30 UNCG faculty that responded to a research data management survey in 2013, only one of them used an online data deposit, like repository, and associated metadata with their research data. And that's not data visualization specific, but if they're not doing it for the research data, they're probably not doing it for their data viz. So second was identifying metadata standards, schemas, and tools. So if you're using GIS data, a lot of times if you're uploading it to like Esri, the Living Atlas, they've got a specific format of metadata and what you record. So you need like who created the data, when it was created, what your layer file is called, but there's not really a lot of standards other than within separate companies. So do we even need one separate standard, or will that just be one more thing that people have to look at? And our third one was instruction services and advocacy. So what kind of workshops can we apply? How can we instruct people and do some outreach and get people to do research data management for data viz? So my what's next, basically, I've done a literature review and a basic environmental scan of what it looks like on campus at UNCG. So I'm going to expand that to more southern universities and similar sized universities, and then move on from there. So the needs assessment is next. Thank you.